Today, let's learn how to do recurring entries. Recurring entries are available in AR, AP, and GL. A recurring entry is a transaction that is initially set up in transaction and recurring entries and stays there and never leaves, and you transfer it from a recurring status to a voucher payment in AP or some type of document or transaction. So you don't have to enter it over and over again. You can go back into any recurring entry and update it or modify it at any time. Let's go learn how. So first thing is we go to batch entry. In batch entry, we're going to say new batch. We're going to set up a batch ID, recur entry. The batch type is recurring entry, and that is really the trick to make this work, because when it sees a recurring entry batch type, it never deletes it. Once that's done, we can return. We now go to transaction and recurring entries, make sure we have the right checkbook, select the batch we want, and now we're in a transaction entry screen. And this transaction entry could be for monthly rent, could be the monthly ski lesson you take from your favorite ski instructor, or whatever. New transaction, you can come back here to voucher prefix and change it to whatever you have here. That would make more sense to you. You can override the voucher number. Now we go in here and we select a vendor. Here, Simplified Software. We select him. He is our vendor for rent. We go down here to account number, and here's where you make the distribution to where it's going to go in the general ledger. So we'll go find rent right here, select rent, we'll put in $100. The top part of this transaction is actually going to AP, and the bottom side is how you enter it to go to rent. Once you've done that, you're really done with the recurring entry. You can have as many recurring entries within this batch as you wish. I'm just doing one for rent today to show you. That's over, and that process is now over. Now it's just sitting there waiting for you to say, okay, it's the first of the month, I need to pay rent. What happens next? So you come back into AP, we come into transaction recurring entries, we select this recurring transaction, select, and now we are going to transfer this from a recurring batch to a voucher. To do that, all you have to do is right up here where it says transfer recurring. Click on it, say OK. You can see we have documentation generating, and now this recurring batch is now a voucher payment batch. So now what happens? So now you want to pay a check. You say create checks to pay, computer checks. Make sure we have the right account number. We hit continue. It'll generate a batch for us. Come in here. We say it's the Simplified Software batch or transaction. You can hear there's our $100 right there. We're going to hit auto pay, and now we're going to post and print the checks. Click, it's done. If we go back to this batch entry, you can see here, there's my original batch of recurring entry for the AP, and we have one transaction in there. This will never leave. It'll never get deleted until you delete it. You can go in there at any time and modify it. You can go in there and add more transactions to it, and it's always going to be a voucher payment batch. I hope that helps. If there's any questions, please give us a call. Thank you.